Hey y'all, I'm Shauna. Welcome in or welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another day of Everyday May. I saw a video from Alexa Sunshine83. That was like the fourth take of that. Her name is a tongue twister for me. She made a video, I think 2 or 3 months ago, where she was talking about her fashion red flags. And I really like this video, and I think it's an interesting concept to talk about because sometimes there are parts of a piece where you may like how it looks. You may think it's cute. And you might even potentially love the way it looks on you, but these are parts of the outfit or parts of the garment that would prevent that thing from having a long life, potentially from you liking it or wearing it. Using what you have is the most sustainable thing that you can do or we can do, and loving our clothes helps us wear them more. So if we can learn lessons from our own wardrobe, past purchases, then we can buy better things in the future or not buy things that we're just not going to actually like. So I have about 10 things in this video, and these are personal. These are not me saying that if you wear this, that I hate it or I hate it on you. These are things that I don't like for me. And I'm also not saying that you should or shouldn't like or don't like what I do. I'm talking about it today because of the concept and the sustainability elements we were talking about, but I also think it's going to be great to hear from you. What are your red flags? If you like today's video, we could also do a green flags version. That could be fun. Before we get into it, subscribe if you like what you see in today's video, or consider subscribing. We're doing 5 videos a week for all of May. So if you subscribe, you get that delivered straight to your inbox. It's free $99. And if you like today's video, give it a like. It helps me out. And even more, leave a comment. Let me know your fashion red flag or a green flag. And if you don't have any, you're not sure, leave me a flower emoji. Please excuse my sock. I have been testing the mic situation. I finally was like, you know what? All the things I'm doing on the back end, not doing shit. So time to get a new mic. And I was able to try out a pop filter and a windscreen on this thing. Not that great. Sought some advice, and somebody said to use a sock or a nylon, and it works just as well as the pop filter that I had or that I got to try. So we're using this for now until we upgrade. I have my one and only black sock, so it's not that distracting. On this side, this could be an ad for Saucony, apparently. Not today. So hopefully we don't have the sock situation for too long until I could get something and vet some mics. We're making moves, people. Also, this is just an aside. I'll put a timestamp to the first item if you don't want to hear some rambles. On my video that I posted Saturday, testing new outfits, thank y'all for not roasting me. For those of you who watch, a lot of your outfit suggestions or suggestions in general are really helpful. And I have been trying more of that brown cardigan from that video, and every time I wear it, I hate it more and more. I actually had it on today, because I'm wearing a very basic outfit today, but I could not stand the sight of me in it. I was getting pissed off. So I decided to go with this cardigan, and I love this cardigan, but I only ever wear it as a top. So today we did the fashion girly thing where we buttoned the top one, kept it loose, and I think it's cute. I mean, I already know I love this cardigan. So this is fun. Okay, we're going to get into it. And the first thing I want to talk about are rips and tears, including micro tears. This also includes distressing, most especially on the knees or the hem of an item, particularly as well like the hem of a jean. Oh, and raw hems too. All these kinds of distressing, in my opinion, impact the longevity of the item because raw hems will creep up over time. They'll just extend and get bigger and bigger. I have learned that through owning multiple pairs of raw hem jeans. And then with holes, particularly in the knees or the thighs, they just extend and get bigger over time. Not only can the circumference of the rip extend, but usually on the knee, there'll be like the bands across it. Those will often just get destroyed over time, and then you just have a big hole. I personally do not like wearing pants with giant holes in them. That's just not my style and not something that I particularly like. And so if I have something that starts off that way without the big hole, it eventually becomes the big hole. And then that creates like an obsolete or an endpoint really of how long I would want to own it for. And that comes far sooner than the garment itself being unwearable. I'm going to show you another option because I hadn't thought about it in like little distressing elements, but one of my favorite tops, it's a sweater. It came with little like micro distressing. This one here, this is big. Not all of them are this big. They didn't all come this big, but this is the smallest one I have after owning this for 5 years. And I wanted to give you an image for before. Here is what those have turned into. This is a full-on rip here. And then in between the Frank and Oak, this is a emerging hole that is like you can fully see through it on the inside. I genuinely don't know how to fix this when there's like the embroidery between the letters. I don't even think that's the biggest one though, because we have multiple on this arm. Yes. All of those started off as holes smaller than these. They weren't even holes at the beginning. I'm really pissed off about it because I love that shirt and it didn't have to be that way. And now I have to fix them because I'm going to keep wearing it. And the more I wear it, the more I wash it, the more the holes are ripping. And I don't know how to patch those kinds of holes. So now I have to go and learn how to do that. So that's number one. Oh, number two is raw hems. And we've already talked about it. I recently cut up a pair of raw hem jeans where I fixed the hem and now they're shorter. Like they're fine for most of the year. And it's not the biggest deal, but I would not have probably selected those jeans at that length if I were buying them new. I'm like making them work. I do have another pair of pants that are also a raw hem that I'm going to fix. I haven't purchased any raw hems in a year. These ones that I'm going to fix, I got these last April. They're the last raw hem I hope to ever buy. And there have been some things that I've been looking at or like trying on like at the thrift store or whatever. And I'm like, oh, they're so cute. I love the raw hem, and never again. I hope anyway. Number three are black plastic buttons on garments that are not primarily black. I think that the button should match the garment. The button that I'm wearing today, they are super fun. They're mini flowers. They actually are contrasting colors, or not contrasting. And if the buttons don't match the garment, or I feel like maybe this isn't black plastic buttons on things that aren't black, but it's more of the buttons should match the garment. They don't need to be like a color for color match, but if you have a solid color garment, I think the buttons should match that color, or maybe like if let's say you have a white cardigan, having a pearl button could be cute, or a metal button. If we're not going that route, then the button should match the top or like whatever color it is. Generally speaking, I have been on ThreadUp a lot recently, and I've been seeing some garments. I've also owned some garments where the buttons did not match the top, or they just like threw on a tortoiseshell button on something where there's no tortoiseshell, or like they threw on a black button. You're like, what are you doing? This item isn't black. This is item maybe 3B. I do not like an oversized button. These are mostly happening on clothes, or sometimes like maybe like a baby doll top. I think the button should be proportional to the item. And I think like the oversized button is a hallmark of like early 2000s trench coats. I've been seeing them a lot on trench coats. And they're also black oversized buttons. I think when the button is oversized, it throws off the balance of the outfit or the item, just for me personally. Okay, number 4 are necklines, and I have many necklines here. I love a square neckline. I love the way they look on other people, and I wanted to wear them on myself. I have actively been trying on square neck tops and bodysuits for over a year, and I have not found a single one that I like that fits. I went to Aritzia to try on some Aritzia bodysuits. One of the best things about Aritzia is like they do keep making the same items year over year. So if you go and you find your size in store, you can go onto places like ThredUp or Poshmark and you can get that item, often brand new with tags. So they had a square neck bodysuit and Dynamite had one. I tried both of those on. I think also Abercrombie and Fitch. Tried all of them on. None of them fit. I've tried more than those ones. Yeah, they often come down too low. I have a short torso. So if I see online like the photo of the model and the thing hits them here, that's like gonna be all boob on me, you know? And also, if the square neckline is big enough, you can't wear a bra with it. And that's on the list too. We'll talk about that on its own time. I'm jealousy, okay? I'm jealous of all of the people who get to wear the square necklines. I want one for myself. But this is not something that I could buy without trying it on. Like I would not buy a square neck item on Poshmark unless I've already tried on that thing and know it's gonna fit. Or unless it's like a really short, narrow one. I've seen a couple of those, but not on styles of tops that I like. The U-neck or the scoop neck. Also, don't like those. I love a crew neck. I'm a crew neck lover. Okay, I'm a lover of the crew neck. I hate the U-neck or the scoop neck. It just, to me, like the U-neck / scoop neck feels like a top that has been or was previously a crew neck that's just been stretched out. I have one sweater that is a crew neck, but it's like over a decade old and it's getting loose. It's not quite U-neck territory or scoop neck territory, but it's kind of starting to look a little bit like that, which, you know, that's what U-necks or scoop necks remind me of. I just don't find scoop necks all that flattering to me. Not a fan. Also, V-neck t-shirts. When I was in high school, I wore the American Apparel V-neck t-shirts like no, like I saved up my money to buy these and I owned it in the black, a white, a gray, probably something else. I love these V-neck t-shirts. All I wore was V-necks. And I'm just like not a fan of it at the moment. And so I will entertain a V-neck cardigan. Cool with that. But the V-neck t-shirts, I'll see them like at the rack and I'm like, oh my God, they're cute. But then whenever I put them on, I just don't like them on me. I wish I had something to explain that. Why? Maybe it's just my own nostalgia or them being of a specific time and place. And I just don't like that vibe. But I'm sure at some point in the future, I'll be open to wearing them again. But for the moment, it's just something that will not get worn. I have one V-neck, and one of the issues as well with V-necks is they can, depending on the item, just come down too low. I've actually seen some V-neck sweaters become more popular, and I'm super into those. I have tried them on as well, and all of the V-necks just come down too low for me. And I do like the way that they look with the t-shirt underneath, but I feel like the V-neck, like I don't feel like the V should come down to here. I feel like the V should like maybe here, but not down to here, man. It just feels too big, too oversized. And I keep like saving all of these V-neck sweaters on Depop and Poshmark, but I'm like, this is not something you can blind buy. You have to try it on beforehand to see where the V hits. Otherwise, if it doesn't, you're just not gonna like it. The scoop necks are a don't touch it ever. Like you should not buy any iteration of it. The V-neck and the square neck are the red flag. You know, like you see the person over there across the room, you're like, oh my God, they're cute. And then when they open their mouth, you're like, you're nasty. That's often how I feel about these things on me. All right, next up are tops that I cannot wear a bra with. These are mostly backless tops because, I mean, I'm not a fan of the strapless top either because quite often, you know, I'm like shimmying it up and I like to be comfortable. So this would include strapless tops. But if you have a halter neck or you have like a cami, you can usually wear a bra or a strapless bra with one of those. Sometimes you can get away with like if you have a racerback top and you have a racerback bra, that'll work. But it's really the top that you cannot wear a bra with. This would also be deep V tops. I'm talking like V's that come down like here or more. Y'all, I used to own a dress with like that I had to be taped into. Never again. I also used to have these. I'll occasionally entertain like a baggy tank with a side profile because you can wear a bandeau with it, but I don't have a bandeau, so I wouldn't at this point. But I like the way those look, and I also like tops that you can like see my tattoo with because I don't see it very often. It doesn't come out to play very often, but I used to own this tank top from American Eagle that was super oversized, and I'd wear a bandeau with it and you could see my tattoo in the summer, and that was like very cute. I still like those kinds of tops, and if I were interested in wearing more of them, I'd buy the bandeau, but that's not generally my style, and I don't foresee myself wearing those kinds of tops very often, so buying the bandeau would not make sense. But I mainly don't like all of these tops, mainly the low back tops. And I've worn my fair share of low back tops or no back tops or tops that like only tie in the back. I want to wear a bra with my top, a bra of some kind. That's just how I feel most comfortable. And I don't want to be taped into stuff. I also don't like sticky bras. Sticky bras kind of piss me off as a product. Maybe this is a hot take. I don't really feel like they should exist for the most part, because they're like really unsustainable. Think about it. The bra part of the bra, well, the bra part is typically like a really cheaply made, but still like traditional looking bra that you get in your size with sticky parts on the side. And whenever the sticky parts are no longer sticky, the bra is done. So you get, depending on the bra, 2 to 6 wears out of it. Maybe more if you're lucky and the nights are short and you're not sweating that much. But I had a sticky bra that I got 3 wears out of it. First and only sticky bra I've ever worn. This is like back in university. I know people like will do the nipple cover things or they'll like tape their boobs. Not for me personally, because I just would not feel comfortable. I feel like I would be one slip away from showing it all. I want to feel secure, and I don't feel secure in tapes or covers or things like that. Okay, next up are satin garments. This would primarily be tops or dresses, but I've also seen satin shoes, and I also saw a satin bag yesterday. I didn't realize it was satin when I was looking at it from afar, but then when I saw the close-up pictures, I was like, God damn, that's satin? First of all, satin feels great on the body, and I do currently own a satin dress that I have. It's in my to sell pile. I look great in it. It looks so cute, except this dress is so damn slippery. It does not stay on my body. It just rides up. And maybe this would work if it was longer, so the ride up factor wouldn't be a thing, but it's a mini dress. And like literally, if you just walk around a little bit, like you're gonna get cheek out eventually because it just rides up because it's so slippery. So I also look, I don't like midi or maxi skirts or dresses on me. I've learned that lesson too. You know what? We'll do a 2-for-1 here, okay? So I wouldn't buy a satin maxi dress or a satin skirt. A lot of people like the satin skirts and they love them. I have not personally loved them, so I wouldn't buy that. I would primarily buy the short dresses and then the slip up, ride up, which maybe that wouldn't be the case if they were looser, or like the bottom was loose so they would flow and not ride up. But the other factor that is more important than that, because I guess that's garment specific, is the texture. Satin to me is just difficult to clean. Like if you get a stain in that, like you drop something on it, I'm that kind of girl. Okay, I'm gonna drop my drink, my pasta on my shoe, on my dress. The last white sneakers I bought, the first day I wore them, I dropped dirt on them and they got stained right on the shoelace. That's me. I don't like difficult to clean fabrics. Also why I'm not like the biggest fan of suede. I think I like the way suede looks a little bit more and it gives fall for me, but not the biggest fan of that. Yeah, I do have a satin cami which I will still wear and I'm not the most upset about getting that dirty, but if I had a satin bag, I would probably be so nervous about getting it dirty. I just want a bag you can wipe off, wipe clean. If you had a satin skirt or satin top and it got dirty, you could dry clean that. Cleaning shoes and bags are way more challenging, and so I wouldn't do it. Yes, okay. The 2 for 1 are the midi and maxi skirts. I know a lot of petite women who wear midi and maxi skirts and they look great. And it's often seeing these items on other people that make me go, wow, I should get this too, because they look so good in it. I'm just making it up in my head that I don't look good in the maxi dress or the maxi skirt. I own 2. I own a green, 3 actually, and one of them is satin. This is how I learned my lessons. Okay, one of them is this green skirt, and I've since talked about chopping it. I haven't done it yet because part of me is like, Shauna, like you do look kind of cute in it. I never wear it ever, like period, end of sentence. I prefer my skirts to hit me above the knee. And it's not that I think I can't or shouldn't wear a maxi skirt because I'm petite. No, 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 no. I just don't like the way I look in them. I prefer to show a little leg. That's how I feel my best. I keep trying them on when I go to stores, or like I'll like stuff on ThredUp or Poshmark or wherever. And I'm like, no, Shauna, you should try it. You should try it because I see all the girlies wearing them and they look so cute in them. And I see people in my own life wearing them. And I'm like, are you gaslighting yourself, trying to tell yourself that you don't look good in them when you do? And then I'll try them on and then I won't look good. And I try to convince myself like, or I don't like it, sorry. And I'll try to convince myself that you look good and you should like it, but I don't. I'm just not that girl. And if I feel my best in the short dresses, that's what I'm gonna wear. I've lost count at this point. I think we're maybe somewhere around 8. So I'm just gonna say next up. And next up are oversized jackets and blazers. Kind of a similar thing here. The oversized look was really popular a few years ago. And I saw so many people buying these items and I tried on my fair share of stuff in store. There's a chance my dislike of how I look in it comes from like my perception of myself and not actually reality. But whenever I wear them, I feel like I stole somebody's jacket. And I'm like, maybe it's just me, or maybe I didn't pick the right blazer, or maybe I just don't know how to style it. But I often feel, but in these items, I often feel like the clothes aren't mine. I love the way they look on other people. It has nothing to do with somebody's height of why I like it, because I've seen them on tall people and short people and like average height people, and I like them on other people. I just don't like it on myself. All right, next up are flats with a stiff and unflexible bottom. So if I'm wearing a flat, I want my flat to be able to bend. Doesn't have to bend entirely like in half, but it needs to have some give to it. Like you need to be able to move it. If the flat doesn't move because the bottom is so stiff, those are the kinds of shoes I don't want in my life, because not only do those shoes, I feel like personally give me blisters on the back of my foot, and I have a tattoo back there too, which like I'm very careful about the blisters on that side of my foot. I will put like the protective band-aid and stuff, which like I knew what I signed up for when I got it, and it has overall been like helpful preventing blisters on my heel. But those particular shoes are really blister prone and they're so uncomfortable. Even if you put padding on those shoes, if you watch my styling video recently, those leopard print shoes, I got so many comments about those shoes and a lot of y'all really like them. I hate those shoes. I filmed that video a while ago, like over a week ago at this point, and that day I put them in my to bring to Plato's closet bag. I hate them for so many reasons, and one of them is that they are the flat/stiff bottom. They do not move with your feet. And I feel like a good flat will like mold to your feet a little bit, and they like should get more comfortable with time, it literally, like, those shoes do not get more comfortable with age. They get more uncomfortable the more you wear them. They just don't move with you. And there was no padding in there. I mean, I didn't like them for other reasons too, but even if I did like the print or the silhouette or whatever, I still would probably get rid of them because you can't walk much in them. Why have a shoe that you feel like is uncomfortable to wear? And so that was just my reminder of when you are buying shoes. Like if you're trying them in store, you know if the shoes can move with you or not. But like when you're buying stuff online or you're buying shoes online or you're like Poshmark or secondhand or whatever, that's a detail to pay attention to. Next up are belts or purses that do not have a way to wrangle the strap. So if the purse is adjustable, it'll either have like a clip that slides or there'll just be like a little piece that the manufacturer will put onto part of the strap, so you tuck the strap in there. I'll have to show an insert or something of like one of my examples. If the purse or the belt does not come with one of those, I don't want it because it looks so, to me, like especially on the belt, it just like jangles there. Also, I think part of my problem is just like you can buy a belt that is more tailored to your size, like a 25 to 30 belt. So you never have that much strap. But I think previously I bought a lot of one size belts and there were large amounts left on the strap and then nothing to wrangle the strap. Arguably you could cut it, but I also don't think that that looks very nice. I just want a way to like let the strap lay nicely, even on purses. I have one purse from Matt and Nat that does have that strap, but it doesn't function and it just sits at the bottom of the bag and it will not actually stay up where it's meant to because the strap is like, that component is just not made well. And so the strap is frequently just flapping about and it annoys the heck out of me. And so I've been looking at bags and there's this bag from Bagoo that I think is really cute. I saw a couple of options of it and it has an adjustable strap, but the strap hangs longer than the bag. It just flaps there. And so it's these, like in the past, I'm not going to get them. And just because I look at stuff doesn't mean that I buy it. But in the past, I would have been so blindsided by my own enjoyment or pleasure of the item. I wouldn't look for some of these functional features, like another one, a tank top without adjustable straps. You best believe I want an adjustable strap. And I think that's one of the things that to me can make an item feel cheap. That is something that a manufacturer would have to add to their purse, and it's cheaper to not add it. Of course, not every item actually needs that because of design. Like if you're doing a shoulder bag, often, or not often, those are the kinds of bags where there might not actually be an adjustable strap. So it doesn't really matter. But if there's an adjustable strap, I want something to corral that. I don't want it flapping in the wind. All right, that's it for me. Those are all of my fashion red flags. Things that I'm not going to enjoy about an item. I'm not going to appreciate it. It's going to affect my wear of it, my enjoyment of wearing it, how long it lasts in my closet, how much I want to wear, all of those things. So that's it for me. I'd like to know your fashion red flags in the comments. And do we have any that are similar? Let me know. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you again around here soon, or not soon, tomorrow, for a new video. Bye.